Hi, and welcome to episode 105 of the Heartland Knits podcast. My name is Vicki, but you can find me as Heartland Knits on Ravelry and Instagram. And today is Saturday, May 2nd, 2015. Yes, it's Saturday evening. I usually record Sunday afternoon, but just felt like doing a little bit of a change today. I had a really great day, met a friend for lunch, and then we shopped for a little bit. And anyway, I was dressed and my hair looked decent, so I figured I would sit down and record tonight instead of waiting for tomorrow. And then it's supposed to be a really, really nice day, and I probably will spend it out in the garden. So it's going to be a quick little show. I don't have all that much to show you because I have been spending some time in the garden this week, so I haven't had as much knitting time. But I will start out with what's been on my needles. And there is something back in the rotation, back working on it. And that is, you haven't seen it in like a month. All kind of tangled up here. And that is the egg bohus. Yes, it's back. I am going to be knitting it again. I picked this up yesterday and decided May 1st was a good day to get back going on it. And so I had one sleeve kind of 3/4 of the way done. I think I might be ripping that sleeve out, because I don't like how I did the decreases on it. And so this is the so-called second sleeve, and I just, did a couple inches on that. This is my egg bohus. This is a kit from Sweden. This kit was dyed by Solveig Gustafsson. It's a reproduction of the original bohus sweaters. I can't remember when this one was actually out, but I started it kind of last summer, and I knit on it a lot in March, and so I have this kind of a lacy edge on there. One of the button bands is done. You can see the ones I have it marked where I'm going to put the buttons, but the second one is just kind of where it was when I left off, and that's why that was kind of what started holding it up. And I thought, just get the actual sweater knit, and then doing the button band and the neck band will go pretty fast. So I'm going to try to knit on this a little bit, and it was kind of a good, I think it's a good time to get going on it. It's not really warm. Well, tomorrow it's supposed to be really warm. It's supposed to get up to like maybe 80, but I'm sure it will get colder again. And so it'll just a lot of just plain stockinette. I am doing this with 2 circulars. I tend to like doing the sleeves on these on 2 circulars, and that's part of the reason why I didn't like that other one. I think I did that one magic loop. But I'm using size 1 needles, and I don't know if it's going to show, but I had these are size 1, 2.25 millimeter, and one of them had broken, I think last year, and it had just been laying on my desk, and these are Haya bamboo needles, and so it's really easy to get a replacement for them. I just didn't get around to doing it. You know how that is. So a couple of weeks ago, I had this one, and I had another one that had broken, like a size 0. And so you just, there's a little form to fill out and print off, and I filled that out, and then you put the needles in an envelope, and about a week later I got new needles. And these came directly from the distributor, and they came with this kind of a late green, show it better on the this sweater. But a kind of a pale green cord, so I guess this must be the new cord color. My other one is like one of my first Hiya-Hiyas, and it's got just the clear cord, and then they went to the teal ones, and now I guess they're to the green, so just a little something different. But I really like using the Hiya-Hiya bamboos, but I think I'm going to be going to using more of my bamboo needles. My first interchangeable set that I got was the Hiya-Hiya bamboos because they are so nice. Not all bamboo needles are created equal. You know, you can get some of those like clover ones, or I think Plymouth used to have ones that were kind of bad, and you know, they're dull and they're kind of sticky. Well, these are really strong. I had those two small ones that broke, but I had used them for a lot of things, a lot of knitting, and kind of they just get dried out and cracked. But I just think the bamboo needles are kinder to your hands, and I've been knitting so much lately, I want to kind of get back into the habit of using the bamboo needles, and unless it's something that really needs the slipperiness. So this is really basically the only thing that I have like on my needles that I have worked on. I didn't really work on my shawl at all, the spindle spun shawl, but I did work on some other things because they're off the needles. I don't know, I have 2 sets. So I was hoping to send these out, but they just didn't get out in the mail today, so that's good. I put a picture of them on Instagram, but I finished. I now have 3 little baby hats to send for Clicks for Kylie, and these were the 2 that I knit. I finished up this one. This is the one I was working on last week, and I just finished it up and did kind of a little swirly top. And then this was the other one. The third one that I knit, and I just kind of did an I-cord trim and kind of a little swirl on the top of this one and some little lazy daisy flowers just for a little decoration. So I have 3 little baby hats to send off on their way. And then I finished my mittens that I was knitting on last week. These are what are they called? I can't even remember the name of them. The Sweet Nectar mitts from Tanis Fiber Arts. This is using their yellow label DK, which I looked up, and it's a merino, and that must be why I thought it felt so soft. But this is the one I was working on last week. And then I finished the lining of that one up, and I have the second one done. So the second one has this little flower on it. It's the same on the back. And this one I have showing so that this is the lining for these mittens. And I have the thumb is tucked up inside there because it's, you know, I'm gonna try to talk and get this inside at the same time. So the thumb fits up inside. So they are completely lined. They're really soft. The lining yarn is her MCN. I'm not sure what she calls it. Try to get the tip of it up in there. But anyway, so this is the second one. So they're kind of almost triple thickness because it's double thickness with the stranded yarn and then the lining in there. So they will be really warm. So if you notice, I did one super huge change that, so on this picture, she's got the, her hands like this, the bird on her right hand and the flower on her left hand. So it looks like the hummingbird is coming towards the flower. So that she's got them like this. well, I don't usually walk around like this, but I will like have like if I'm driving the car or something, so that I wanted the bird on my left hand so that when I looked down, the bird was going towards the flower instead of the opposite way around, like holding them up. So I like changed, and used the different chart, what she called the right hand chart I used for the left hand. And I think I've said before, I changed where the thumb was so that the beginning of the round could be at the outside of my hand. And basically, I don't think I did really any other changes. I did do where the lining, you decrease for the lining. She had you kind of decrease with like a single stitch in between, and I found that was just kind of too thick, so I did it like right on the edge. So they're done. I really, really like these. It was a really fun project. The instructions were excellent. I mean, even though I made those few changes, the only thing I could like I wish that maybe that the cuff was a little bit longer, because kind of here is where my hand is. It could just be a little bit longer, but that's all right. I ended up with this much left of the outer stranded yarn and this much left of the MCN for the lining. So that's a fair amount, because I did extend the length on those for 6 rounds, for both mittens. So because this is a kit, sometimes I worry that you're going to end up with enough yarn, especially if you start making changes. But this seemed like a decent amount. I wasn't, that worried when I was coming down to the end. And so it's, a pretty fair amount of yarn. So there was, if you didn't extend the length down, you would have had plenty. So I really love them. I don't know if you can see kind of how like squishy they are, like how thick they are. So they will be nice and warm. I think, I bought that Swedish mitten book last winter, and she does that where she kind of folds the mittens, and I'm going to do a pair like that this summer. But then if I don't really like that, I'm going to do the rest and do a lining in them. This was the first time I've done a lining in the mitten. You can look down and see like how pretty that looks. It just looks so perfectly just polished and finished. Really nice. I love how it looks. So yay! I do hope I will get more mittens on the needles soon. But for Imaginating, I was still shawl thinking again this week. I came up with 2 new candidates for this yarn, which is some hand spun that I spun last year. It's here, I found the tag. It was dyed by Lisa Souza, and it is baby alpaca and silk. It's pretty soft. And I ended up with 702 yards. I had more yardage than I thought I had. And the colorway is called Water Gardens. So I came up with 2 new candidates that maybe I would want. And the first one I saw somebody on my Instagram knit. And I thought it was really pretty. I had to look it up. And it is called the Alberta Shawl. It's by, let's see. Annalise Nygaard, and it's like really, really pretty. So this is that shawl. She's done hers in a couple of colors, which I really like. I liked it for this green yarn because the yardage would be about what I would need for that, and I liked the kind of leaf motif kind of in the middle there. It looks really fun to knit. but I'm thinking that maybe, so anyway, that is one of them. I really like how it has kind of multiple colors in it though, so maybe I will save that. And the other one I came across, which I don't know that I ever like really like saw this one before, and it's another Boonitz, but it is called Spellbound, and it's got an all over lace kind of back and then like a fancy edging like a lot of hers does. But you can, I don't know if it's going to show up, but the all over pattern in it are kind of leaf shapes, which I think would apply with this kind of what I was looking for that yarn. And then it's got beads in it. And so anyway, those are two more candidates for that yarn. I do want to get started knitting on that. I think it will be a good sort of to have the kind of plain stockinette of the bohos and then like some fancy kind of lace to do. They will kind of balance each other out. So I talked about the garden a little bit, and I think I'm going to try tomorrow morning early when it's quiet. I'm going to try to go out and just show you a little, make a couple of little videos like showing. I worked on kind of one garden bed and got it all cleaned up and planted a couple things in it, some hollyhocks. There are a lot of things that didn't come back over the winter. I had lost a couple roses. I lost a bunch of delphiniums. So it's still early to be planting here, but kind of perennials would be okay. Our last freeze dates are usually May. It's either 9th, 10th, and 11th, or 10th, 11th, and 12th. But those are kind of the dates where you don't really want to put out anything tender because we can still get, freezes. So, but then I did clean up one little space kind of where I put my salad garden, and I planted some lettuce, seeds, and I planted sweet peas, which I love sweet peas, the flower. My pansies are my very, very favorite flower, but sweet peas are kind of a close second. So we'll see if they can come up. Sometimes, one year I had really a wonderful crop. My mom used to always plant sweet peas. She would just have like armfuls and she'd be giving them away to people and stuff. But so I'm going to see if I can get those going. And but I just thought, because I usually show it as it's like planted and blooming maybe, I thought, well, I should show it kind of as it comes out of the winter. I don't do a lot of like really clean up during in the fall because I kind of let the seed heads out there so the birds have a little bit of something they can find, and also it helps me kind of in the winter. I can judge the snow depth if I can, like, there's something out there. And then there is kind of one little section in the yard. It's, if you remember, a couple years ago there were trees that came down, and one of the trees that was where it was come down. It a long time ago it was landscape pretty. There were like, that's where like the trees were, and finally they've all gotten old and had to come down. But it's just terrible, and it's right along the sidewalk. It's right between the my yard and the back neighbor's yard, and kind of right along a sidewalk. And I stared at it, and I'm not really sure what to do with it. It needs like something to be done, but I'm not sure because there's like some big trees. I don't kind of know what, if I don't want to put something in there if it's not going to do well. So I might take a little video of that. If you don't see a video, well, I'll probably just cut this whole section out if you don't see it, so you'll never know. But because maybe you're a landscape designer and you can have an idea of what I can do with it, or maybe you're just really good at like that. So I can deal with gardens and flowers and things, but when they're great kind of big plants, I'm not sure. So anyway, I need to figure out something to do with that. There, the other corner on the other side of the yard is like really bad. There's still a tree there that has to come down, but I'm hoping that will have to like happen like a different year, because I don't think I want to be taking any more trees down. So I'll put that in here. Okay, here is what will be the pink garden as far as it is. You can see, well, that's where the peony will be. But it's a lot of empty spaces because a lot of things didn't come back. One lonely little delphinium back there. So a few little daffodils. I really love these. These are kind of a pink kind of daffodil. So that is where that went. And here's the mess that is the herb garden. Gotten some of the leaves out, but not completely. Haven't worked the ground up to put new ones in. And I got a little volunteer daffodil here. They were, I think there used to be daffodils planted a long time ago, and they've been gone for at least 10 years, and that one just showed up this year. So here's where the salad garden will be. I have sweet peas in the back, and then some lettuce just planted. And then here's the rest of that garden. It's got a lot of perennials. I'm not sure what exactly came back and what didn't, but I know for sure this was my pretty yellow rose that here was the new power pole that was put in a year ago in the winter, and right behind the rose was where they came to take out the old one, and they put some kind of machinery on it and kind of smashed it last fall. So lots of work left to do here. But look, one of my favorites is gonna just start. It'll bloom this week, and that is the bleeding heart, which I just love. So, and here is my little problem child. This was the corner. You can see the stump. That's where one of the trees came out a couple summers ago. But I'm not sure what will grow here. There are these tall, those are the neighbors. I'm not sure what those are. There's a lilac right here, and then there is this very tall maple tree. So it gets a lot of shade. But this plant right here is a mock orange, which I think I would like to keep because I love the mock orange. But it's right along the sidewalk, so I'm just not sure what to do. Any advice will be greatly appreciated. And then we just have one last thing to do, and that is we had the drawing for the yarns, and there's a project bag, and these were all prizes that were had been donated at one time or the other. It's kind of had the thread up for most of it, I think all of April, and it's fun to like thank all of you for watching and be able to kind of celebrate that at the same time. So right before I sat down, I closed the thread on Ravelry and picked a winner, just because it's really hard to like show. I took pictures so that you'll know I wasn't cheating of the screens with the random number generator, and it was between posts 2 and 90, and post 89 won. It was like almost the last one. Here, I'm gonna try to get it up quick. And the winner who wrote post 89 was Alchemy. On her Ravelry, she doesn't have a name. I always feel like she won something before once, just because, I don't know, it sounds familiar to me. But anyway, Alchemy, you are the winner. Um, PM me and let me know your address, and I will get all the goodies out to you in the mail. She put in, the thing was to put either your kind of first knitted thing or your favorite knitted thing, and to put a picture in, and she put this picture of her daughter with this kind of yellow lopey, let's see if I can make that bigger, this yellow poncho made out of lopey, which just, it made me smile so much when I saw this, because it made me remember of a yellow poncho I had when I was a little girl. My mom, it was like a plaid. I don't know that it was Pendleton, but it was like a wool plaid fabric, and she made me a it was like a yellow and white plaid, and she made me a poncho, and it had like yellow fringe along the edge, and then a little skirt that out of the same plaid, and that was my Easter outfit that year. And then I used to wear the poncho like to school and stuff, but I hadn't thought about that in just ages. So it just made me smile when I saw that picture. So Alchemy, let me know when you see this, and I will get your prizes out in the mail to you. So that is the show for this week. Thank you all so much for watching and for taking part in the giveaway thread. Like I said last week, we are coming up on 1,000 members. So I think, even though I said I wasn't really going to be doing giveaways like much anymore, I think 1,000 members kind of deserves a giveaway. So I will find something for that when we get there. I think we're at 940 or thereabouts. So almost there. And so that'll be fun. And I hope you all have a really great week this week. And until I see you next week, from my heart to yours, happy knitting.